There's something sacred about waking up after 65. The world slows down, whether you choose it or not. The noise fades. The house grows quiet. And sometimes, so do the people. Your children move on. Your role shifts. And your body, that loyal companion, starts whispering more than it once did. Aches where there were none. Pauses where there was once ease. Thoughts that slip away like wine through your fingers. And in all of this, you may wonder, am I still strong? Am I still sharp? Am I still the same person I once was? Or am I fading? But let me tell you something. If you're between 65 and 80, and you can still do what we're about to describe, you're not fading. You're rare. You are part of a shrinking group. A group whose longevity isn't just a matter of luck or genes, but of quiet resilience. And according to science, this one ability, often overlooked, rarely tested, is a stronger predictor of lifespan than cholesterol, blood pressure, or even weight. It's not how far you can run. It's not whether you've avoided illness. It's not how much you can lift. It's something simpler, something quieter, and if you still possess it, you may be on track to live well beyond 90, and perhaps even 100. But before we reveal what this surprising ability is, I want you to do 3 things right now. First, like this video, because someone out there, someone your age, needs to hear that they are not done, that their strength still matters, that their life still has rhythm. Second, subscribe, not for entertainment, but for wisdom, because here, we speak to the part of you that's still awake, still reaching, still alive with purpose. And third, comment below with "I'm still capable," because when you say it out loud, you don't just remind yourself, you remind someone else who's been silently wondering. Let me ask you something, gently but truthfully. Can you rise from a chair without using your hands? Can you stand on one foot for 10 seconds without support? Can you carry a grocery bag and still breathe evenly? Can you walk up one flight of stairs without stopping? If so, you are stronger than you think. And we're going to explain why, with science, with soul, and with stories. Because what you can still do matters more than you've been told. And in the next section, we'll reveal what this ability is, why it signals deep inner health, and what it says about your chances of reaching 100 with your dignity intact. Stay with me, because you may be more extraordinary than you realize. Imagine this. You're sitting on the floor, maybe after playing with your grandchild, stretching your legs, or just picking something up. Now, can you get up? Not slowly crawling to the couch, not pushing yourself up with both arms, not grabbing furniture, but simply rising, with minimal support, maybe just your hands on your knees, all the way to standing. If you can still do that between the ages of 65 and 80, science says you're not just mobile, you're exceptional. This simple movement, known as the sitting rising test, has become one of the most powerful predictors of mortality in older adults. It doesn't measure how much you can bench press. It doesn't track your cholesterol. It doesn't care about your weight. It measures something deeper: balance, flexibility, core strength, joint mobility, and most importantly, functional independence. The test is simple. Start seated cross-legged on the floor. Now rise, with as few supports as possible. Each time you use a hand, a knee, or lean for help, a point is deducted. A perfect score is 10. Researchers found that people over 60 who scored fewer than 8 points were more than twice as likely to die in the next 6 years than those who scored higher. And those who couldn't do it at all, their mortality risk was nearly 5 times higher, even if they had no chronic illness. Why? Because the ability to rise from the floor without assistance reflects your entire physical system working together. Your muscles engage, your joints align, your inner ear stabilizes, your brain coordinates, your confidence asserts itself. And when that ability is preserved late in life, it tells us something profound. You haven't lost your integration. You haven't fallen apart. So now I ask you, in honesty and without shame, when was the last time you sat on the floor unafraid? When did you last test your body? not for glory, but for quiet confirmation? Have you stopped sitting on the ground because part of you fears you may not rise again? If this speaks to you, comment below with, "I will rise," not just as a symbol, not for show, but as a promise to test yourself with courage and without judgment. Because whether you rise today or try again tomorrow, the act of trying is what extends life. Now, if you tried this and realized you can still do it, you are rare. You're in a shrinking group of older adults with preserved balance, mobility, and strength. And you need to protect that like it's your passport to freedom, because it is. But if you can't yet, let me be clear, that does not mean your life is over. It means it's time to train gently, to return to the body like you would to an old friend, to give it care, small daily practice, and belief. Because this isn't about perfection, it's about preparation. And in the next section, we'll talk about what to do if you can't do this test yet, and how to gently restore the strength, balance, and resilience that make this movement possible. It's never too late to rise, and we'll walk you there, step by step. Stay with me. You still have ground to stand on, and strength to stand tall. So maybe you tried the test. You sat down, you reached, you shifted your weight, and you couldn't get up without your hands. Maybe not without holding onto something. Maybe not at all. And now you're wondering, is this a warning sign? Is it too late to turn back the clock? Have I already lost too much? Let me speak directly to your heart. No, you have not failed. No, you are not broken. And no, it is not too late. The truth is, most people over 65 can't get up from the floor unassisted. Not because they're sick, but because no one ever told them that they should keep trying. You weren't told that the ability to rise isn't just about strength. It's about daily maintenance, like brushing your teeth, but for your joints, like prayer, but for your muscles, like standing up for your future. So if you can't do it today, here's the good news. You can train for it. And it doesn't require a gym, or fancy equipment, or some youthful trainer shouting in your face. It begins with small, sacred movements, done slowly, with purpose, and with trust in your body's quiet wisdom. Let me give you 3 foundational steps to begin restoring this ability. Chair to standing, no hands. Start with the very chair you sit in every day. Sit down. Place your hands in your lap. Now stand, using only your legs. No armrests, no thighs, no momentum. At first, it may feel difficult. You might lean. You might fail. That's okay. Start with 2 to 3 repetitions per day. Even if you only move halfway, that's a beginning. Wall-assisted squats. Stand with your back to a wall. Slide down a few inches, just enough to feel your thighs engage. Hold for 5 seconds. Slide back up. This gently wakes up the very muscles, quads, hamstrings, glutes, that you'll need to get up from the floor again one day. Kneeling transitions. Place a cushion or folded towel on the floor. Kneel down slowly, using support if needed. Then come back to standing, with support. Practice this movement as if it were a prayer. Not rushed, not punished, not judged, just repeated, with grace. These may seem small, but over time, they restore everything. Your leg strength, your balance, your trust in your body, your ability to rise without fear. And here's the deeper truth. Every time you train your body to rise, you're training your spirit to not give up. So I ask you now, can you commit to just one of these movements each day, even just for a week, even just once a day? If your answer is yes, comment below with, "I'm training to rise." Say it, and you'll begin. Say it, and someone else may join you. If this video is lighting a fire in you, if it's making you think of the body you once had and the dignity you still deserve, like it now, because one click might bring this message to someone who hasn't gotten up from the floor in years, but still could. And subscribe if you haven't, because this channel is not just here to remind you of what's slipping, it's here to restore what matters. In the next section, we'll go deeper. Why this single ability, rising from the ground, is more than physical. It's emotional, it's spiritual, and it's a signal to the world and to yourself that you are not done. Let's continue, because you still have places to go, and you still have the strength to get there. Let's pause for a moment, because this is where it gets deeper. We've talked about movement, muscles, balance, bones. But let me ask you a question no doctor will put on a chart. When was the last time you felt proud of your body? Not when you looked in the mirror, but when you trusted it, when it responded to you, when it obeyed your will without hesitation. That's what rising from the floor really symbolizes. It's not just strength, it's sovereignty. It's the body saying, I still belong to you. I still answer when you ask. I may be older, but I'm not finished. And that matters more than most people will ever understand. Because for many seniors, the floor becomes a feared place. It's the place you avoid, the place you pray never to visit by accident, the place that begins to represent helplessness. But if you can get back up, on your own, even slowly, even awkwardly, then that floor becomes something else entirely. It becomes a symbol, a moment, a reminder that you are not defeated. You see, this ability isn't just about movement. It reflects everything. Your confidence, your independence, your mental clarity, your emotional resilience, your relationship with aging itself. And in that one simple act, kneeling, rising, you reclaim what so many people give away too early. Agency. Because when others stop expecting things from you, when family starts doing everything just in case, when the world begins to treat you as fragile, you must remember what you can still do. And rising from the floor, on your own, sends a message louder than words. I still have my body. I still have my will. I still have my life. So let me ask you, from one soul to another, have you stopped testing your limits because someone told you they don't matter anymore? Have you accepted decline because that's just part of getting older? Have you allowed the world to shrink your movements, your confidence, your very presence? If so, I want you to hear this. It's not too late. You are not too far gone. You are not a burden. You are a body that still holds history. You are a life that still holds light. And you are capable of rising in more ways than one. If these words stirred something inside you, comment below with, I still rise. Not for applause, but as a quiet declaration to yourself and to anyone watching. And if you haven't yet, like this video, because this message isn't about content. It's about connection. And every like helps bring it to someone else who feels like they've been forgotten by the world and by their own strength. And subscribe, because here, we speak directly to what still matters. Your dignity, your health, your freedom, and your future. In our final section, we'll bring it all home. Not just with movement, but with meaning. Because if you're still rising, even in spirit, you are a rare gem. And the world still needs your light. They won't say it at your checkup. They won't write it on your prescription bottle. They won't whisper it to you when you're leaving the clinic. But I'll say it here, plainly and with reverence. If you're between 65 and 80, and you can still rise from the floor unassisted, you are extraordinary. Not because it's easy, not because it's common, but because it is a signal, a quiet, powerful signal, that your systems still work together, that your body has not forgotten how to protect you, that your independence isn't gone, it's alive. And more than that, it means something bigger. It means you've been consistent in ways no one saw. You've endured without applause. You've preserved your mobility through grief, change, and decades of use. You've kept showing up for your life, for your loved ones, for yourself. And those are the traits of people who live the longest. Not the ones with the best blood work, not the ones with the fanciest supplements, but the ones who can still stand up when they fall down. Literally and spiritually. There are places in the world, like Okinawa, Japan, where elders live well into their 90s and 100s with grace and clarity. And do you know what researchers find time and again? It's not just what they eat. It's not just community. It's not just mindset. It's mobility. It's purpose. It's the ability to move through life without fear of the floor. So if you're still rising day after day, if you can get off the ground, off the bed, off the couch, using your own strength, your own rhythm, then you are one of the rare ones. A gem the world doesn't see often anymore. A person destined to live not just longer, but better. And if you've lost that ability, don't mourn. Rebuild. Because just as strength fades, it also returns if you invite it, train it, believe in it. So I want you to do one final thing today. Comment below with the words, "I will keep rising." Say it for yourself. Say it for the people who've stopped trying. Say it for the children and grandchildren watching, wondering what aging should look like. Because how you live now, how you move, rise, eat, speak, and show up, teaches them how to live later. And like this video if it gave you hope. That small gesture helps place this message in front of others who need it. Subscribe to this channel, because this isn't just content. It's companionship, for the journey ahead, for the years that still belong to you, and for the strength you still carry. Remember this. You may not run, you may not dance, you may not climb the stairs like you used to. But if you can still rise, even slowly, even shakily, you are still beating the odds. You are not done. You are not fragile. You are not fading. You are a rare gem, and the world still shines brighter because you are in it.